Good evening. We're going to call the meeting to order of the Wareham School Committee. It is Thursday, March 5th. The meeting is being recorded by WCTV and audio recorded by Jamie Wixton. In terms of attendance tonight, we have one member attending via Zoom, and I just want to check. Mr. Sweat, are you present?
He's there, he's just muted.
Jeff, if you hear us, you're muted. All right, well, we'll come back to Jeff when he unmutes and joins us, but everyone else is present here tonight. Would we please stand for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is public participation. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to address the committee? Seeing none, we'll move on to good news.
Just, Mr. Chair, can you hear me now?
We can hear you now, so you are officially present.
Well, we can
Thank
see
you.
too.
Thank you. We swapped states from our last meeting.
That's quite true. It's lovely here.
I just want to say that the Wareham boys basketball team under Coach Faniel has made it to their third Elite Eight in the last 4 years, and they'll be playing this upcoming Saturday at home versus Wacona Regional in the Elite Eight. Anyone else have good news? Joyce?
So I'll just follow that up with congratulations to the girls' basketball team. They made it to the second round of the playoffs this year. They had a great year, and they lost earlier this week in overtime. It was a very exciting game, so good for them. You know, they had a great season. And then I want to go back a couple of weeks. I didn't have or maybe I just forgot at our last meeting to talk about before vacation. I had attended a couple of events at the elementary school. They had a winter concert, which is always a good time, and so well attended. It's so nice to see so many families out there for their students. And then they had the annual Hall of Presidents, which is always put on by Mrs. Haronk and Mrs. Allen's classes, and it is just one of my favorite things to attend. I always learn something that I did not know before, and there's just something about seeing a second grader stand up on the stage and say, he is impersonating Richard Nixon, and he stands up and says, "I'm not a crook." That's just my favorite part of the whole thing. So those were two great events at the elementary school. And I want to thank Mrs. Richards, who came out afterwards and pointed out some displays in the hallways of collaborative projects that are going on there, not only between departments at the elementary school, the art department and some classrooms, but also with the high school. So that was really, really nice to see. And they have the projects displayed right there in the entryway of the elementary school. So I appreciate that she took the time to point that out to me. So just wanted to say that.
Anyone else with good news? Okay, thank you. We'll move on to our student representative report.
So I was going to start off with sports, but we've already got that covered with the girls basketball and boys both did very well, and the boys are playing this Saturday. And spring sports are also coming up in the next few weeks, which people are getting very excited for. DECA, we have our state competition from the 12th to the 14th in Boston Seaport, where we have 17 students going to compete, which is exciting. And again, we're also planning our auction still. Save the date, March 22nd from 1:30 to 3:30. Tickets are $8, which covers lunch with the option of chicken parm or pulled pork. We have things like New England Revolution tickets, Patriots preseason tickets, Providence Bruins, many other local businesses, gift cards as well, which is very exciting, and it helps. It's our biggest fundraiser. Last year we raised over $10,000. Drama has their festival this weekend at Bourne High School, and they're putting on their play, Who Are You?, which I've heard they're very excited about. Key Club has DCon coming up, which is a conference they get to go to network and skill build. And then there's also another marine biology field trip that many people are going on next week as well. And then seniors, we're planning our trips, graduation, senior week, lots of exciting stuff.
Thank you. Any questions for Priscilla? And just so you know, you have the green light. If you ever have a night when you have to study or get back or do schoolwork, feel free to leave at any point of the meeting, okay? But otherwise, you're welcome to stay and add your opinion, okay?
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, next up, we have the class of 26 class trip vote.
Hi, I'm Savannah. I'm representing the seniors on behalf of the class trip. We plan to go to New York City on Monday, June 1st of this year. We would leave the high school at 6 a.m., and then we would leave New York around 6 p.m., be back around 10, 11 p.m., flex time. The cost is under $100. We've been fundraising a lot. We've done 50-50s at lots of the basketball games, the last playoff game as well. The estimated students is around 30 to 50, and then the chaperones would be 1 adult per 10 students. And then we're still voting on what activity we're going to do because we don't know if we want to do the Spice Cake Museum or the tour like the NBC studios because it's very split right now. And it's also cost-based, so we're planning that last part out. So, yeah.
This is probably the 7th time the senior class has gone to New York City, and we've had a really great experience over the years with that trip. And I'm hoping one of these years to jump on it. It's been really well received by the students and the chaperones that attend. And this class has done a really nice job, class of 26, of fundraising. I would estimate that the actual cost will be probably somewhere between 30 and 50% of what they presented because they've been just really working hard at fundraising. And we try to, I know Mr. Sweat's not here, but his question would be like, is it going to be open to everyone if they can't afford it? And yes, Mr. Sweat, the answer is yes, that they make sure that every kid that wants to attend can afford it. And it's, at the end of the day, it's actually the price they charge is cheaper than a one-way bus ticket from South Station to New York City. And that's an amazing opportunity. Oh, is Mr. Sweat online?
He is
Yes.
online now.
Yep.
He's
Oh,
joined us.
okay.
Yes,
I had you
am.
covered, Mr. Sweat.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So questions from the committee members? Jeff, do you have some questions you want to start with?
Yes, you mentioned, and thank you for that, that this is the 7th time we've done this trip. I don't take for granted safety ever when it comes to student activities. Can you think of any negative incidents that have occurred during prior trips?
None to New York City. I can give you an example of situations we dealt with some traveling abroad, but nothing on a one-day trip to New York City. But we're always cognizant of the times we're living in, and if there were issues, we always are proactive, and we would always flex the trip if there was ever a concern. We're never, whether it be in the building or outside the building, we're never going to put students in harm's way.
You indicate that the chaperones is 1 adult for every 10 students. Do you have any doubt that that's a sufficient ratio, that's an appropriate ratio?
I think that's more like an industry standard as far as the ratio. In any trips we've done, again, domestic or abroad, we've always held to that number. Even just a simple field trip to the marine biology lab, we try and keep that at 1 to 10. It's a ratio that works really well. Frankly, with seniors, you probably don't need 1 to 10, but if you're doing an 8th grade trip to Washington, D.C., you need 1 to 10.
I appreciate the distinction, and I tend to agree with you. I'm all set, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
No, I don't have any questions.
And we can get more details from you, Mr. Palladino, once they make some decisions on.
I think the only decision is what the students choose, whether it be the Spy Escape Museum or the tour. It's, I think, close to 50-50 at last check. We always like to survey the students, and I think that decision will probably be made closer to June.
Okay.
And I know they're going to, either way, it's a win-win as far as I'm concerned. They're both great tours and obviously great options for our students.
Actually, I do have a question.
Go ahead.
So it's just Wareham High School students that would go,
Correct.
there's no other, okay.
And no parents, it's Wareham High School students and staff at the high school, and that's it.
And a chaperone would be with the students at all times? Like,
They
if someone
usually, what
wanted
they
to
do
go,
is,
or-
yeah, they'll break out in groups, and they'll usually, they'll take 10 kids, and they'll go here, and then what they do is when they're getting on the bus, they make sure they have a group text going on, so they get everyone's number, and then they create a group text in case there's ever any situations. So the students would all have the teacher's text and vice versa. It's, like I said, I'm envious because every time they come back, it's just a great trip. It's a long day, don't get me wrong, but it's a great trip, and I'm excited maybe to tag along. We'll see.
I'd let you.
All right, I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
We did one of those long days when I was in 7th grade. We did a New York field trip, and we did not have, I believe, a 10-to-1 ratio for chaperone at that time in the early 90s. So I am very, very envious that they get more kids stuff. But it's still something I remember to this day, and every time I've gone back to New York, even now as an adult, I still remember going with my high school friends. And so I think I would make a motion to approve.
We have a second.
Second.
Any other discussion? And we're going to do a roll call for the vote since we have one member remotely. Joyce?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Mr. Sweat?
Yes.
And myself, yes, 500. Chip is approved.
Thank
Good
you
job,
so
Savannah.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, all right. Have a
Thank
good
you
night.
for your time.
Sure. All right, next up, we have Mr. Sylvester with the kindergarten registration update.
Good evening. Am I on? Test. Hello.
Hi. So, we have some of the information that you had. Are there any things you'd like to highlight regarding registration coming up this year?
Sure. I did bring with us
Hi,
Ms.
Wendy
Owens. She's come to join us. She supports us through our kindergarten enrollment, so I wanted her here to help answer any questions that you might have as well. Our current enrollment for kindergarten is at 175 students currently. We anticipate with projected enrollment being approximately 166 plus or minus for the upcoming school year. With that enrollment, we anticipate the class sizes, if we had 9 sections, we'd have 18.4. If we had 8 sections, we'd have 20.75 for each section. We anticipate, we're looking forward to having our registration. It's going to be, Mrs. Owens has been really working hard at expanding what our registration looks like and what the really engaging the community early on so that we don't have this late onslaught of registrants. So we're trying to get them registered quickly. We're engaging the community in a variety of different ways, which we've listed here. So on March 11th, we'll be having a Zoom meeting for families to answer any questions. They can come on. We'll answer questions. We'll give them the outline of what they need to register, give them a good feel for what school is going to look like for their students coming into the building. We'll also have a registration days on the 12th and the 13th. I'm sorry, March 12th, March 13th, and the 27th, as well as April 10th. And those are by appointments only, so we'll talk about that at the Zoom meeting to have parents come in and make those appointments as well and work on that. Anything else?
We are this year holding registration at some of our community preschools, Little People's and Head Start, so that they don't have to come to the school. We are also trying to get into Brandy Hill, Union Pond, and Woods of Wareham to help out there as well.
Nice.
We also have some events planned in the upcoming, just to kind of get students into the building to see what the classrooms look like, get the families comfortable being with the staff and seeing, and those are kind of listed as well. We'll do some ice cream socials. We've done like a fair type event in the past, so we're looking forward to getting those as well.
And those dates will be determined sometime in the near future. Yep, okay. Have the numbers changed a little? You've adjusted them a little bit, so it's
Yeah.
a little fewer enrollment than we had
So
anticipated?
we've emailed parents, and we put signs up all over the place, so we have more registrants coming in than we expected.
So those are actually, we actually have those already by appointments. Those appointments are already scheduled, so that's why the numbers kind of were adjusted a little bit.
Okay. Questions, April?
So is registration solely in person, or does our district have online kindergarten registration and then you guys follow up at all? Or is it just the parents have to get to the school to register a student?
Currently, it's in person. It's something we're definitely looking into, working more online access down the road.
Okay, thank you.
Joyce?
Remind me again, you just told us this at the last meeting, but how many sections do you have now? 8 or 9?
9.
Okay. Okay. So if that were to stay the same, the class size would be less than 20? Okay.
Correct.
All right. And I know that, I think that this is the first year that you've had, I see Mrs. Roberge here, like you've had someone out in the community at these preschools. And so how has that changed your kindergarten enrollment process? Has it?
Tomorrow is the first one.
Okay.
So we don't know yet, but we're thinking that it will help us as opposed to waiting until summer to get last-minute registrations.
Right. I would imagine that people would be excited.
Yep.
Not only about enrolling their child, but make the process being easier, so they don't have to come, although it would be nice if they did come to the elementary school. They could just do that process at the preschool, is that true? Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
All
And we're
right.
now holding registration in the preschool and the screenings in the preschool as opposed to upstairs where kindergartners don't usually go very often.
Right, well, that's nice too, yeah, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Mr. Sweat, any questions or comments?
Yes, two unrelated questions. The actual place where the child lives, you and I have exchanged emails on this subject, which I never even thought about until recently, related to I guess we can call it a snafu related to Upper Cape Tech. Do you have any question that you are sufficiently verifying the physical address of your students?
Absolutely. I did talk to my secretary as well, Ms. LaFrancois, and she actually did reference that site that you have, that you shared with me, as a source that she goes to frequently to make sure that we have accurate information on registrants.
That's great to hear, because I'm not sure if you do everything you mentioned earlier and use that site. I don't know how you could go wrong. I'm not sure how things went wrong in the past, and I'm not in any way, shape, or form criticizing the elementary school for this problem, but apparently it is a problem. So that's good to hear. When does kindergarten student testing occur?
The screenings will happen when they register this year.
So I'm thinking from a timing point of view, they come in physically to register whenever they do. You check to make sure, in whatever fashion is appropriate, that they've got a birth date, August 31st or before.
Correct.
And so they're physically in front of you. Do you then schedule the screening?
We do that at the same time this year. So they are
At the
coming
same-
in, so the parents will do the registration and we will take a group to do the screenings.
Got it. So then a question for both of you, based on your experience. Have you ever tested a prospective kindergarten student and thought to yourself, or maybe went even beyond that, this child is not ready for kindergarten?
I would say rarely. I think generally they're kindergartners, so we anticipate a lot of areas of growth for them. So generally speaking, they don't come in with a lot of background knowledge for us. So it's nice if they have a preschool experience, but generally speaking, we take all students.
So regardless of their behavior, I actually, once a few years back, actually interviewed some prospective kindergarten kids, and they ranged from kids who were happy to read to me to kids who had no clue what letters were. I mean, so the gap in preparation for kindergarten is just enormous. And I wondered if it would if it would ever make sense, and I realize this might not be very popular, but if it would ever make sense to say to a parent, your child is really going to struggle based on expectations, not so much related to any IEP type situations, just from normal behavior, socialization, et cetera, it might make sense to wait a year. Because I know that some parents actually make that decision on their own. I wondered if we ever make that decision for them.
No. I think sometimes if they're on the younger end of the age group, I think that's challenging for some kiddos, but I think when we do the assessments, when they come in, that's where we kind of, that helps us with their placements within classes, and we try to make the classes balanced using that information that we get from those assessments.
I know we're going to be talking about NUIA later in the evening, but it just occurs to me, and I assume you can't answer this question, but whether there's any correlation between, for example, the age of the student over that, how many months were they born prior to August 31st, and how well they're doing on NUIA testing. I realize this is a difficult subject. I'm not looking for answers, but the question is begged by the fact that our NUIA results are, and this isn't way beyond Wareham, across the country, are not where parents and educators and those people who care deeply about children being educated, the results simply aren't what they were like even 10, 20 years ago. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Other questions?
No.
I just want to make sure at the ice cream social, you have a special costume or hat that Mr. Sweat would like to wear when he's giving out ice cream. I know he's done that in the past, and we'd like to continue that.
For sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your concern, Mr. Chair.
Anytime,
Thank you.
anytime. Thank you very much. All right, we have Mr. Sylvester, don't go anywhere. We have the principal reports.
Right here.
And all three principals want to come. You're welcome, and we'll start with Wareham Elementary School. I do want to thank you for the new format where you have given us kind of a skeleton outline in writing of what some elements of the report. I really appreciate that. I think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go first, I guess. We're excited for our good news for Wareham Elementary School. Our grade 1 had their 100th day celebration the week before vacation. Our grade 1 had the 100th day celebration the week before vacation, and they had a parade around the building. They created vests in class, and they had to count out 100 items and put them on their vests, and they were proudly walking around the building. All the classes came out of their classrooms and cheered them on as they walked around. So very cute. It's always very fun to see how proud they are of all the work that they put into creating their vests. Our kindergarten celebrated their 100th day today. There is obviously for the start dates, it changes, but so they were all excited today. A lot of them were walking around with little bags of their 100 items that they had gathered. So that was, again, another fun part of elementary school. Grateful for all the support we had during the last snowstorm. I know it seems like already forever ago. It's only been a week ago, but that's the whirlwind we are in. So the big storms that we really appreciate our custodial staff, the maintenance staff for the town, for all the hard work that they put into making sure that our building was safe and ready to open. And I know it was a process. It lasted a longer time than anticipated, but a great job all around. This last week also we had that ice, the meltdown overnight, and then it froze up, and our custodial staff were out there sanding, salting, and getting it ready for us to get into the building. They managed to get us into the building that day, which was a pretty good feat, because they did have to do quite a bit of ice removal by hand. So we appreciate all the work that they've put into that. Our enrollment is 933 students. We had 92% attendance rate for students. For staff, we had a 94% attendance rate. Our Special events we had, as we mentioned, were grade 4 band chorus concert, which was great. They did a really nice job up there. We were so proud to have them up and to be able to show their skills to their families and our community. So thank you for coming. We appreciate that. We were delighted to see so many families there and to join our event. We also had our mascot rally, where we had Howie Smith, who is the original Viking. So he came out to our school and introduced our elementary school Viking, and kind of a width along that, if you mind, if I have a little handout for you guys. A little bookmark for
Thank you.
all. Thank you. Brought to us by our new mascot for all the students to have, and figured I'd pass along to all you guys.
Absolutely.
It's nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So with our new mascot, we just kind of introduced him, showing that our students have a new champion for them that's going to encourage them throughout their year and throughout their career in our elementary school, and to give them some skills that will help them to meet any challenge that comes their way. So they were really excited. They were super, especially when the mascot did the 6-7 kind of routine. So they got really ramped up with that. But they did have a lot of fun that day. Curriculum highlights, we had the Hall of Presidents, again, phenomenal. Our second grade kiddos out there memorized their lines right up on stage in front of the whole crowd, really did a nice job, so we're really proud of them. We also had for our African Americans, the influential African American posters that were created in STEAM class. They did an excellent job, and they were up in our innovation space. That was grade 1, and that was a collaborative project that they completed, and they came out really nice. So if you ever get to come over to our building, check those out. They did a really great job with that. And of course, our grade 3 and 4th grade students are planning for MCAS, which is coming up towards the end of this month. We're starting with 3rd grade.
Great. Any questions regarding the elementary school?
Any questions?
Jeff, any questions?
Yes, I know for a number of years, maybe all the years post-COVID, attendance has been a huge focus at the elementary school, and 92% I know is not where you want it to be. My question is this mostly related to students who are chronically absent, and I know the state has a definition for what that is, or is it just a smattering across the student body that just happened to hit you over the past month?
I think it's a little bit of both. As we get into the winter months, we obviously see an increase in illness because we're indoors and we're not able to get out and get fresh air. So those germs have a tendency to transport themselves pretty quickly. So I think we do see that a lot. And we do have a smattering of students who are frequent flyers that we're working with on a regular basis to help out with their attendance.
Is there anything that's working with these chronically absent kids?
Yes, I think there are a variety of strategies. I think it's challenging for some families, and we're monitoring them, and we're supporting them best we can as a school district, and it helps, but I won't say it's what I would like it to be. I wish it would more.
When you say it's challenging, what makes it challenging?
Life circumstances that families go through.
Okay, enough said. Thank you very much.
You had mentioned getting kids outside. What is your cutoff temperature usually for sending kids outside for recess?
32 degrees.
Oh, 32, that's pretty high.
I know.
That's the kids over 25 in Sandwich.
Yeah.
Bundle them up. Okay, I was just wondering
Yeah,
what that
32.
is. Okay, so you guys go with 32. All right.
Well, the snow on the ground, I'm sure, doesn't help.
I know, you're not going to worry about that for a while.
There is an
Puddles.
actual formula with the wind speed and the temperature.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you follow that, and it helps you determine if you're going to go outside or not.
Okay, all right, thank you. Dr. Russo from the Wareham Middle School.
All right. Good evening, school committee. For our good news, we'd like to share a thank you to the Bluefoot Cafe. They hosted our art show for the last month. It was a wonderful event, and on February the 8th, we had students there, our student artists there, and there were different folks from the community who actually came and got to meet the artists and see their work, and it was a big success. But the art show itself was there for the entire month, and we can't thank them enough for supporting Wareham Middle School and our students and their work. So attendance rates for our students for the month of February is at 94.15%. For our staff, the attendance rate was 94.20%. We have two big special events coming up this month before we start our MCAS testing in April. The first is our Wareham Middle School Drama Club production of The Little Mermaid. The show will take place on both March 11th and 12th. At 6 p.m. Tickets are on sale right now, and they are selling quickly. So I do believe we're going to have two sold-out performances. However, if you would like to, school committee, attend a special event, you can come on March 10th at 9:15. We have the fourth grade students coming from the elementary school. They're going to attend the play, and then they're going to tour the middle school, but the tour is going to be provided by our student council representatives, so it's going to be student-led. But if you would like to join us for that production on the 10th, you are invited. The last thing is, curriculum-wise, is our progress reports for term 3 are going to be going home on March 16th. So it's actually a week later. We just moved it back a week due to the week that we were out. We wanted the students and the staff to have an opportunity to settle back into their rituals and routines and have a week of more academic work before those term 3 progress reports were sent out. And that's our update for February and March.
Questions?
Thank you. No, I don't have any questions.
I'm good.
Jeff?
All set, thank you.
Wow, you win tonight.
I was ready with the attendance question, Jeff.
Let's save them up for Mr. Palladino. Mr. Palladino, you're up.
All right. Well, thank you, and certainly I want to echo Dan's comments in regards to just the great job that our fields and grounds and custodians did to have the school ready so we could actually get in there on Wednesday, and obviously more work had to be done throughout the week. Also want to thank the town, because I'll tell you, Viking Drive didn't look like this on Friday, and I appreciate the work they did over the weekend to get the place up. Also want to thank Eversource. We had, as you're probably aware, we had two utility poles that came down in the storm and various wires, and they were kind enough to not only restore our electricity in a fairly timely manner, but also to tack up the Verizon lines as well. So we appreciate the support and making sure we didn't have lines down for Monday when the kids arrived. And we had a great presentation just before this, which is why I came in right at the buzzer for our 8th grade dual enrollment. And we had a great crowd, so thank you, Dr. Russo, for getting that word out. Really impressed with the 7th grade class, and a lot of great questions. So that was a great event for us. And so moving forward, we have 530 students currently enrolled. We lost a really good one the other day. He aged out, Alton McCain. Joyce, thank you for showing up for that party.
Yeah, it was a
Great
really nice
party,
time.
and I appreciate Alton being with us for 9 years, and just really has been a huge part of the high school over the years, and I think our unified sports took a huge hit with his graduation. But he's still around. He was at the game last night. It was great to see him, and I know he's going to be around. So he's just moving on to bigger and better things, but I hope he continues to be around.
Well, he's working at the elementary school. so,
True, right.
yeah.
Thank you, yes. And I think he'll still be around the high school quite a bit.
Yes,
So we
yes.
love having him. Great kid. If you get a chance to see him and talk with him, you'll really appreciate him. We'll miss him during the day, but hopefully we'll see him back. As I know, Ms. Bajoli, you were there last night. Our boys are on to the Elite 8 Saturday at 6 p.m. for the boys basketball team, and our girls lost in the Sweet 16, But they had an unbelievable year, record-wise, and just a great group of kids. And I'm really excited. They're very young. I know they have a senior, 1,000-point senior, Johnny Tompkins, who's graduating. But they're really young, and they're really competitive. And I think you're going to see them continue to go deep into the playoffs for many years to come. And our co-op hockey team is doing really well, and certainly I'll be remiss if I didn't mention that they were in the playoffs, and they're doing well. And it's been a great winter, and I know we'll be back in probably another month or so to talk about the winter season as a whole. But we've got a ways to go because we're hoping that basketball team keeps going for a couple more weeks. But they were working hard this afternoon. I had a chance to go see them. I couldn't believe how hard they were working the day after a game, but they're putting in the time, and we should all be proud of them. And I think you're going to be real proud of their GPA as well. They're working hard in the classroom. Our attendance rate, I was pretty excited when I saw 95.52, but then I saw there were only 10 days of school, and my excitement waned pretty quickly. But we'll take it. We'll take our victories. Staff 95.34. If we can keep that for March, March is probably the month with the most number of school days. So if we can keep that, replicate that for March, I'll be very excited. DECA has their states, and that's taking place March 12th through 14th in Boston. And JROTC has the awards night. That's going to take place on March 19th at 5. For curriculum highlights, we have, thank you to Ms. Cote. We're working on revising our AP curriculum. This is something, obviously, that's very important to make sure we're aligned and revised. And oftentimes, AP is in the curriculum world is somewhat neglected because it's usually, as we talked about last week, there are a small number of students, and but these are our best and our brightest that are working really hard to get college credit. So we're excited to get some alignment going with that, and that's pretty much it for the high school for the month of February and into early March.
April?
When do you guys do, I know you, I think, piloted last year where you have sort of like oh, sorry. You guys had the scholarship sort of like round table, where you had everyone kind of go and you had the tables.
It's funny you should say that. I was told I could only talk about 2 events, so I didn't have that on there. It didn't fit in the template. We just had that actually, I believe it was on Tuesday, excuse me, on Tuesday we had that, and it was really well done. And guidance counselors and Secretary Ms. Barboza did a great job. It was really a scholarship fair, and pretty much kind of what you would expect. Tables with various scholarships, and they had them categorized by, like, you know, if the requirements, and it was all really, it was well done. And they had hard copies, and Mitch Roby, the Roby scholarship was on there. I saw
good.
that, Joyce. So,
Good. Thank you.
So it was exciting to see. They had, I would say, 75 scholarships that were available for students to apply for. And then while they were there, they also had them fill out the general application for local scholarships as well. So there were a lot of things done during that advisory period, and it went real well. So hopefully we'll have a lot of students applying for scholarships, and I know we're going to have a lot of students receiving scholarships.
Who is the point person in the guidance department for scholarship information? Like, so should, like, an outside organization, I know that we revised our application for community associate scholarship, so I just want to make sure that anyone else in the community that has, you know, any information gets it to the right person.
Well, they can, obviously Allison Medeiros handles the scholarships with Sandy Barboza. They can email me, they can email them, they can call the school, I'll get, we'll point them in the right direction. We always appreciate the support of the local scholarship providers. But ultimately, it's Allison Medeiros, it's Sandy Barboza, and Emily Kelly, as one of our new guidance counselors, who's helping out as well for those students. So it's really a team effort. But any of those 3 people, myself, I'll forward it. I forward scholarships all the time. Want to get those in as many students' hands as possible. It all helps, obviously.
Yep, thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff, any questions?
Yes, it never occurred to me the issue of alignment with AP curriculum and the AP test. Is it fair to say that the AP test changes every year?
Not every year, every few years.
Okay, so how much of a problem is this? Meaning, does AP always alert us when they're changing the test?
Yes.
And then we have to make sure that we revise the curriculum appropriately.
Correct.
Is this ever literally a timing problem, or how much of a problem is this?
Well, all curriculum's a problem, but it's, we send our staff to the trainings, so they get, obviously, any updates or any changes that are going to happen to the AP test. We also get from College Board notifications, so it's not, as far as, we get proper notification. Our kids are not at a deficit for it, but to formalize it, we need time to get that in order, and that's kind of where we're at. We also, as you know, Mr. Sweat, we have several teachers that, well, traditionally it was the end of June when we were out of school, they actually assess these exams as well, and to me, there's no greater PD than being on the back end of assessing these exams for College Board, and we're very fortunate to have anywhere from 2 to 4 staff members that do that at the end of the school year. And that, to me, is like, to see the test and see the rubric and know how to grade the test is the best PD. But we work through it, but now we're going to be able to kind of formalize that curriculum a little bit more.
I think what I'm hearing you say is it's always been a challenge, but you've made some changes to make it better in the future?
I like the way you said that.
Fair enough. Then I'm all set, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. When the curriculum's finished, is that submitted to the College Board and they have to approve it?
So they have to approve the curriculum every year, and it's a kind of a syllabus they approve. It's probably the same as it was when you were teaching it. And so they have to approve that every year. But what we try and do is we try and make sure that we keep our teachers posted on these changes by sending them to training. We send traditionally anywhere from, whether it be the fall training or spring or summer training, we'll send about a half dozen teachers out to those trainings.
Mm-hmm.
So that's very helpful, especially if we have a new teacher
Right.
teaching. That's so important to get them for that. The summer training, as you know, is a little more intense, and the fall training is kind of like a 2-day training. But we try to make sure we get them out. And now, when so many things are done, via a webinar, it's not we used to have to send people to Vermont for training.
It's the best training ever, though.
You went to Vermont,
Yeah,
did you?
yeah, it was
Okay.
great.
I agree, like, there's something to be said for in-person training, but
But I
the
get it.
cost effectiveness, like, I
Right.
can send, like 8 people to training online compared to that one training
Mm-hmm.
in Vermont. Did we send you to Vermont?
No.
Okay.
That was on sandwiches then. We're
I don't
good.
send too many people to Vermont.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your reports. I hope you get back into the rhythm of school again.
Yes, thank you.
All right, next we have, let's see, our Northwest Evaluation Association report, NWEA.
That's what that stands for? Okay.
Good evening.
Evening.
So we have our second round of NWEA testing, and we have a report for you. The second page just gives a brief information. We mostly do map growth, so with grades K through 10, we do map growth for reading and math. And with our littles, kindergarten through third, we do foundations in literacy. So the first,
When you say map growth,
Yes.
how would you define map growth?
well, the map growth is what NWEA is calling of it. So it's the growth for the reading and for math, and we'll get into what it shows. Okay?
Okay.
So, we do get, we hadn't shown this graph before, but I wanted you to see how NWEA shows us information, because it's very valuable to see it plotted when we're planning curriculum, when we're looking at specific classroom teachers in their classes and the combination of classes, and they're put on different quadrants. So when I present some of the growth and the achievement today, I'll say it's high growth and high achievement. So NWEA does a really good job at giving us information for the entire school, for specific classes, and then for specific children. So it really breaks down the data for us. First grade is the only grade that you're going to see foundational skills growth right now. Kindergarten because they're very new and just learning how to read, we will do a screener with them. So that's what we do in the fall. So they will be taking this, but they'll take it in you'll get some information on that in the spring. So this is our first graders, which we're very proud of for their growth and achievement. So if you look at the NUIA for grade 1, the foundational growth and achievement, you will see that a 65 in red for the phonics awareness skills. And that means it's a median for students that are normed nationally. So our students' growth compared to others nationally is in the 65th percentile, which is really good. You'll see that line graph, right? And you see blue, green, yellow. So 36% of our first graders, 36% of them, have grown more than 80% of their national peers. Okay? So very good
Tracy?
growth. Yes.
Quick question. Is this 65th percentile, is that like SGP, which is to say 50 is the statistical average, so anything above 50, you're doing well?
It's a median, so 50 is the median, yes. I mean, you can take it that way. They do it a little bit different in the fact that they put them in these quintiles, and they have their own percentiles. I can give you all of those, how NUIA scores them. So, but yes, you can essentially take it that way, Jeff.
Thank you.
That's the easiest thing to. What we love about this is, you see this graph. This shows the entire school for grade 1 for those specific skills, for word recognition and awareness. But we can click on that 36%, and it will give us specifically who those children are, which is just quick and easy for us. And then all along, we can see that. All
Trace,
right.
can I
Yes,
ask,
go
how
ahead.
soon after the testing do you get the results?
Immediate.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right.
it is immediate. The one thing that's a huge difference between MCAS and NUIA is that it doesn't assess writing.
Okay.
Okay, so we're assessing this without writing, which we know is an area of weakness in general for the majority of our students. All right, so now I'm going on to what we call MAP growth. So the MAP growth is testing in reading, is testing their reading skills. So it's testing their comprehension skills. And we have growth and we have achievement for each grade level. So blue is above where we expect students to be. It's when our students grew more than 80% of the other students nationally. Green is, Jeff, this is where they put their colors within the codings. It's a little bit different than MCAS. Green is 61 to 80%, yellow is 40 to 60%, orange is 21 to 40%, and red is 1 to 20%. Our K students are just starting to read, so I think what we've seen in past years is you'll see a big growth when we do it in the winter, okay? This is the first time they've had NUIA testing, so it's a struggle to just get them to take the tests. What we can also see is their reading. So when we test those foundational skills, the teacher can go back to the specific reading. It records it for them, so the teachers can hear it and see what they're being, how they're being assessed. And so that's very helpful to the individual teachers as well. All right, grade Grade 1 and grade 2 both demonstrated high growth and high achievement in reading. When we go to grades 3 and 4, they also were in high growth and high achievement. So we're happy with our NUIA scores for reading in the elementary school. When we go to math, grades K and 2 for math demonstrated high growth and slightly below the 50th percentile. High achievement and slightly below the 50th percentile for growth. And grade 1 demonstrated high growth and high achievement. When you look at math for grade 3, we are thoroughly impressed with their growth. And high growth and high achievement. Grade 3 teachers said they're in a great stride for math.
Clearly.
Yeah, and really our math scores with MCAS have been showing that at the elementary schools, so this looks very promising for this year as well. And grade 4 math was high growth and high achievement as well, but that 45% for grade 3 is quite amazing. Questions or concerns? Do you want to do each school
Yeah,
individually?
why don't we stop after each?
Sure. Yeah.
I guess, what's the secret sauce in grade 3?
I know, that's what I said to them. They just said they're in a good stride, really good group of third grade, and they just did amazing. I don't know. So.
Other questions? Jeff, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, there's a part of me that I guess I'm when I first looked at these over a week ago, and whenever we first were made available, I felt ambivalent. There's a part of me that says almost all the numbers are above 50. I guess we had one median for 46, and of course that was kindergarten. So that part of me said, good. But then there's another part of me that says this is like a bell curve, and I worry about the kids in red and orange.
Yeah,
and
I do too.
And I'm sure you do. And so my question is, how dynamic do you find that? Meaning that if a kid is in orange in the fall or red in the fall, do they tend to stay in the red in the winter testing, or is it fairly dynamic?
Where we seem to see kids fall in the red is our most troubling situation, where you do see a lot of children stay in the red within the year. But what NUIA also gives us, and because we're all using the same test, which really makes me happy, Dr. Russo and I just looked at a particular student, and we can see the testing all the way on a line graph. So for reading, we can see the peaks and the valleys. We can see if they're going. So for a teacher to look at that, to have that information on day number 1 before she even meets a child, it's great information to see. And the assessment that we just looked at a particular student in 5th grade, we could see that in the fall, the student in math was pretty high. It was almost in the green, and then it dipped down to almost red in the winter, and it happened 2 years in a row, and then it went back up. So I don't know what happens with the student mid-year, but it's happened every year. So we're anticipating that when we do it again in the spring, we're going to see him go right back up.
Seasonal affective disorder.
I don't know. It's just, so you can see that it was over 2 years that it's happened, and now it's continuing. So we're not, but at least I can see, am I really concerned, or is this just not a good day that the child tested,
So when you think about the strategies that you're using to help the students in the red and the orange, have those strategies evolved over time, meaning over the last 5-10 years, or are we really just stuck trying to help these kids as much as possible, but the strategies haven't changed that much?
I think our strategies change. I can't speak for every grade and every teacher, but our strategy is and we never had all this information in the past. So if you go 10 years ago, teachers had this information, but they certainly didn't have it at their fingertips. And it took a lot of assessing on their own. So now I think these type of tests, I mean, we used to use FAST, we could get similar information, but not as in-depth. So it also breaks it down into specific skills that children may be lacking. So in kindergarten, as we said, there could be kids that are already reading coming into kindergarten, or there could be kids that don't know their alphabet. So it at least helps the teacher provide individualized support for each child, or to provide groupings or centers within their classroom so that they can support a group of kids that may have missed a concept in fractions or decimals, and just need that. That's not coming up in the curriculum. It was already taught. It was taught in 6th grade, but now they're in 7th grade, but they're missing that skill. So we can also go back in our Viking Black classes and look at this data, because the Viking Black teacher may have kids that are in the orange or the yellow, and we want to bump up to the green. So
Just to finish my comments and questions, what I would love to see is those kids that are stuck in the red and the orange. Because we all know there are so many variables associated with teaching and learning. I would love to have every parent of a student in the red and the orange know what they can do to help their kids get out of the red and the orange, because teachers can't be the only solution to that problem.
correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When you have the students identified that are in the red or, say, the orange, is it just up to the individual teacher to create those groups, or is there a team approach that, working with interventionists?
So we have a team approach. At the elementary school, they have Boost. Kindergarten runs it a little bit different because they're young, but we do have Boost within the elementary school. The middle school has Viking blocks, which change every term and is based on the needs of what kids at the time. And the high school runs their core classes for ELA and math. So it's more of a team approach. What I would like to see is interventionists added, but we don't have that. I think that would be a really big help for the kids to get, the idea of interventionists is to really, for these red and orange students, pull them out, teach them the skills that they're lacking, and then, put them back in. It is the responsibility of the classroom teacher, but it's also, sometimes they need a little extra. Might not be a learning disability for the extra, but it's just that added piece. So especially in the early grades.
Okay, thank you. We'll move on to the next grade.
Okay, next grade. Wareham Middle School. We start off with reading. And for grades 5, 6, and 7, all grades were in high growth and high achievement. And for math, all grades were in high growth and high achievement, with 6th grade demonstrating slightly higher growth than 5th and 7th, which is not typical. 6th grade math has always been a struggle since the dawn of day for the state and for Wareham Middle School. So that was very, very promising to me, very promising. I was not able to talk to the 6th grade teachers, although when I do speak to the teachers, I met with the 3rd and 4th grade math teachers, and when I have spoken to 6th grade and 5th grade at the middle school, ST math keeps coming up as they believe that is supporting math in a wonderful way. So,
That's good to hear.
yes.
That was actually going to be one of my questions, was about the ST math. So I have clients and coworkers who have kids in the elementary schools, and they're constantly talking about ST math.
It's quite a fascinating thing. So ST Math has become very popular, especially in Massachusetts, and they have champion days. So I decided to go to one of the champion days. I went last month, and a lot of districts are saying that it's supporting them, and it's not a huge amount of money either to support our middle and our elementary school with ST Math. And if Mr. Sweat, parents want to do something with their children, it would be to like sit down and have a game night on ST Math and see if they can solve some of these riddles. It's a different way of applying the math that they've learned. And it's really making our children, I think about math, which it was hard for us to grasp. And when we started ST Math, we had so many complaints from parents, from students, and there's no more complaints. We're doing it. We're doing it in K all the way up to 7th grade, and it's quite miraculous, I think, but so.
Other questions? Jeff?
I'm good, but I appreciate what Tracy's saying about if parents want to do something, here's something they can do.
Yeah.
And I hope parents are being told and parents are listening.
I think we can do a better job at that, but yes, there are ST Math champions at each school, elementary and middle, and we are trying to figure out that home connection, so.
Maybe we should have contests with parents and their students as teams.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. That's a good idea. We do have competitions for the kids at schools, but maybe that's a good idea. I'm going to remember that.
All right, we'll move on to the 8 through 10 grade span.
Okay, so 8 through 10, if we look at NUIA reading in the winter, grades 8 and 10 students are demonstrating above average growth, achievement, with growth being slightly below average, and grade 9 has high growth and high achievement. And then for math, for 8 through 10, grade 8 has high growth and achievement, grade 9 has high achievement and average growth, and grade 10 has average growth and achievement. Questions regarding?
Quick questions. Why does it seem like, so it seems like grade 8 is a somewhat problematic grade. Do we think it's just because it's the big transition, or what do we think feeds into that?
I think it's a big transition. I have recently met with the high school, actually I think it was this week, and we did look at NUIA, and we're also looking at the curriculum, and we're looking at individual classes and having those conversations. The high school is the most, they're the newest to NUIA, so the department heads feel like we really have it down pat on just giving NUIA and having the students don't give them a hard time because they're so used to taking NUIA. And so I think it's now about having the teachers have conversations with kids about their NUIA scores, because we do that in the elementary school, so we're in the middle school, and we're starting to do that in the high school, and I think that's going to make a huge difference. I do have to say that the high school has a wonderful administrative team, and the department chairs are really on board with talking to their staff about that. So 8th grade does worry me with MCAS and NUIA, but we're definitely focusing on that this year, so.
Thank you. Other questions about 8 through 10? Roger?
What's the reasoning behind that 11th and 12th aren't tested?
Yeah, so at that point, we've tested them. And they are at the point where they're taking individual classes. They're going on a different path, and so I'm thinking that's why the high school doesn't do 11th and 12th grades. Mr. Palladino's going, yes. And we stopped testing for MCAS 2 in 10th grade typically, unless they had to take retakes for graduation requirements, but so.
Do the SAT and like AP and those, kind of tests kind of take over where the 11th and 12th
Part
grade
of
is
that,
probably?
part of that too, yeah. I mean, the grade also, when we talk about eighth grade's the grade that we test the most. In every way possible.
Jeff, questions for the high school?
No, but I agree with the observation that the eighth grade is problematic. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
Thank you.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Is Tracy done?
She's right here still.
I was, but I'm back.
Could we go back to the very first slide?
Yes.
So am I reading this correctly, that this slide is all of the data combined is producing these dots or ovals?
Are you on the,
This one, I think he's talking
the
about.
graph?
Growth percentile?
Yeah, the quadrants, Jeff?
Yes.
That was just a representation. That's not actually a representation of us.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that.
That's just an example for when I was saying high achievement, so you could have a visual. But we get this, so it's really kind of cool and it's all plotted, and we can hover over it with our mouse, and it will tell us what grade. So we get something that looks like this, and then it'll say like grade 5, grade 6. So, Dr. Russo can look at just her 5, 6, and 7. And so if, one grade is low, like you want them all to be high, and you want them to be together. But what's even cooler is you can click on that for a grade, and then it shows you one that plots every single class.
Wow.
And then we can put the cursor over it, and we can see the name of that class and the teacher that teaches that class. So it is really great data.
I hear you, but the bottom line is what I'm looking at is a pretty negative hypothetical, and I'm really glad to hear it's not Wareham Public Schools.
No, sorry. That's just an example of what it looks like.
Got it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, Dr. DeAndrea.
Okay, you have received a copy of the superintendent's newsletter. The only thing I have for my report are the bill and payroll warrants I ask that you approve.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, again, we'll do a roll call on the bill and warrants. Joyce?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Roger?
Abstain.
Jeff?
Yes.
And myself, yes, 401. All right. That's it?
That's it for
All
now,
right.
yes.
So school committee report, we have some policy reviews to vote on tonight.
Yes, so in the packet, we have the policy review meeting that we had on February 11th, and the policies are in the packet. So the changes are highlighted in yellow. So the first policy, do we want to vote on them individually or as a?
Let's do it as a group. Let's see if we can do it as a group, maybe.
Okay, so if everybody has looked at the policies in the packet, the changes to the bus transportation was adjusting the date and just some of the language for bus registration forms must be submitted by all newly enrolled students and all students transitioning from elementary school to Wareham Middle School by May 31st. So that was one of the changes. Again, as of right now and for the past few years, we have not required a bus fee. That doesn't need to say that the policies are typically a 3-year stint before they're reviewed again. And some are less, but some are typically about 3 years. So we added the word may require payment, just in case it gets to a point within the time frame that this policy would need to be reviewed, that we may require a payment at some point. As of right now, we still do not, as we know, but there might be something that would be determined by the school committee. And again, that language was just kind of changed for clarification. The next, yep.
Can we just ask if there's any questions? So,
Yep, if
does
there's
anyone
any
have
questions on those
this first
changes
one?
on bus transportation, then I'll review the next one,
Yep.
and then we can vote to accept the policies. Is there any questions on this policy?
I have a question.
Yep.
Why don't high school students have to fill out a bus enrollment form?
It's any student that was new. The only one was the transition from middle school to elementary, I believe was the only change, because that's a different school section, because the middle and high school are the same bus.
Right, yeah, middle and high.
It was just for that transition, because some people thinking that if their kid was registered for the elementary school and then was going to the middle school office and
Okay.
doesn't know that that student is going to the middle school, whereas usually the middle school, high school is the same bus, so they don't need to re-notify the bus route doesn't need to change.
Okay.
It's also about distance, because when the elementary school may be further away, they need to know if you're now considered a walker versus a bus.
Right, okay. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, so the next one, again, is transportation related, and that was the transportation of drivers and monitors' children. So if a driver was requesting to have their own child on the bus with them, and again, this is a policy that's been there, the only change was a request to transport form must be submitted to the transportation director and approved by the superintendent before the transportation of that child begins, otherwise that policy has stayed the same. Are there any questions on that policy? Okay. the
Just for
next-
clarification,
Yep.
just for clarification, has the title of the transportation person been officially changed to director?
Yes, transportation director.
Because it's been coordinator for a long time.
I believe that the new
Right, yeah,
language
it
is director.
It's changing to director, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so no other questions on that. So the next one again is transportation related. And again, this is the Transportation Emergency Safety and Crisis Response Policy. This would be the only changes, the Transportation Department will then notify the superintendent and the school. If there, when time allows, the bus driver should notify if there's a need to evacuate. The Transportation Director will, again, the language was changed from Operations Manager, so the kind of changes really reflect, we're adding the superintendent because at one time it was just to notify the school, and this would be to also just change Operations Manager to Transportation Director in this policy. Are there any questions regarding this policy? Okay, the next one is security cameras in the schools, and there were no changes recommended for this policy. This was gone through by, I believe, the superintendent. It's presented through MASC and the Fields and Grounds, and there were no proposed changes to that policy. Are there any questions regarding that policy? Okay, so I would accept a motion to accept the newly amended policies and policies that are staying the same. So motion to accept the batch of policies.
There's still one more, isn't there?
Yeah.
Did I miss
visitors
one?
to school buildings.
School.
I don't know why that
Visitors
didn't,
to school
did I
There's no
miss?
changes, but KKB.
Oh, yeah, again, that was one with no change, so I apologize, I was looking straight at it from, so yeah, the last one was the security visitors to school buildings, and again, there were no changes to that policy. I kind of looked at those two as if they were one policy, the cameras and visitors, but, no, those two, none. So the only changes were regarding transportation that were highlighted in yellow, so I would accept a motion to accept this, bundle of policies.
Second?
All
I
right.
have a question.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Please.
So under visitors to school buildings, security, visitors to school building, the opening paragraph to me is confusing, meaning, okay, the following procedures are to be followed in all school buildings in order to provide for safety of students and employees. Fine. But the next sentence confuses me. Under certain conditions, the policy will defer to established procedures. I don't know what that means.
Matt?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know what that means
This-
either, Jeff.
I think,
Added in 2020, which was, there was a batch that was done all around COVID, and I think that line was added in 2020.
Kind of a COVID.
yeah, I think it was, yeah, I think you're right. I think when we did the policies in 2021, because I was on the committee, it was in case, because we did have a global pandemic, it kind of was vague enough to interpret any new or temporary procedures that would fall under that category.
Can we just delete that sentence?
We can,
Okay, if you want to make a motion.
to amend it.
Well, we could, but what if there was,
Another uncategorized global whatever.
doesn't
I
hurt to
guess,
leave
I
it?
guess that's if, right.
It's like an if
There's some sort of
needed.
emergency situation where things need to change under a temporary time period that they will defer to those established procedures. So I think.
If you're comfortable with it, Matt, I can get comfortable, but it seems to me that if we want to have new established procedures as a result of, God forbid, another pandemic, then okay, fine. But that's okay, but let's hope that's a pretty unlikely occurrence. I would prefer to just get rid of that sentence, but if no one else wants to do that, I can live with that.
I defer to the rest of the committee for that. The policy review committee, when we went over it, accepted the language as written, as presented by the superintendent and, the building principals that were involved on the committee. So I just, without any changes that they thought necessary, I just kept it as was.
I'm ambivalent about it myself. I could go either way. I do see, it does seem kind of awkward, but
I agree, it is awkward, but.
I will defer to the superintendent.
I agree. I like that word, awkward. It is awkward. Maybe under certain emergency conditions or some word in there that kind of explains it a little bit further.
Under extenuating circumstances, the policy could defer to updated
temporary.
procedures, updated or temporary procedures.
Or we just strike it.
I'm okay either way.
Rather than sit here and.
Wordsmith.
I'm okay
yeah.
with striking it because we can cross this bridge when we come to it
True,
again.
we could
Okay.
just adopt a new
So
policy.
do we have,
I will make an emotion to amend the security visitors to school buildings policy to strike the second sentence.
Do we have a second?
Second,
All right, we'll take a roll call vote on that. Joyce, this is on the amendment.
yes.
April?
sure, yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And myself, yes, 500. And now we're back to the original.
Can we make sure that Jamie got that? Thank you, Jamie.
We're back to the original motion, and I think we had an original motion in second.
We did, to accept the bundle of policies as amended. And not a motion. All right.
Well, no, that's right, because there are other amendments, so that's fine.
No, I mean, we
Yep.
need a motion to accept the bundle of policies.
So moved.
Thank you. And we already had the second, so nobody made the
So
initial
moved,
motion.
Roger will second?
Yep.
Okay, and now we'll do another roll call. Joyce?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And myself, yes, 500.
Okay, thank you. Our last policy review meeting will be Wednesday, the 11th, and we will present the results of that meeting to the committee following on the 19th.
All
So
right.
that is all we had for policy review.
Thank you. So under other business, I know, Dr. DeAndrea, you have an issue you'd like to bring up to the committee.
I do. So yesterday, there was a meeting with the superintendents and the commissioner and part of that, it was a long agenda, but on the agenda was discussing the snow days and the potential for waiving the 180-day mandate for the school year. And because it just happened yesterday, that's why it's within the 48 hours. That's usually on the agenda requirement. So at this point, we have taken 7 snow days. You know that we account for 5 on the calendar. We've taken 7 at this point due to the 2 storms that we've had to deal with. Right now, the last day of school for Wareham Public Schools is Monday, June 29th. The Department of Ed said that you can apply for a waiver only for days after, school days after June 26th. Okay, for only school days that you're attending after June 26th. So therefore, we would qualify. In order to apply for the waiver, you must first utilize any full-day professional development days that you have between now and the end of the year and use them as a school day. Well, we don't have any. so we can't do that. And they also said, if you have Good Friday off, you must utilize Good Friday. So we do have Good Friday off. So I would like to ask the school committee to consider Good Friday, voting Good Friday as a school day. You might consider that we could possibly, to accommodate folks who do observe Good Friday, maybe have an early release, a noon time. I think that our early release, that the middle and the high get out around noon and the elementary around 1 o'clock. Those times might be a little bit off. Just to accommodate family and staffs who do observe the holiday or observe the religious day. But by doing that, that would automatically move us back to a last day of school of June 26th. Now, we couldn't apply to waive any more days. However, it is only March 5th, and if we do have more snow days, then I know, then we would qualify to apply for the waiver. So this is really just, it's moving us back to June 26th, and sets us up if we do need to apply for a waiver that we've used that day as required.
And the reason you're proposing, well, maybe talking about doing a vote tonight as opposed to listening to this tonight and do it again, is to give families as much notice as possible that might have made some other plans?
Yes, sir, thank you. Good Friday is April 3rd, so that's coming up fast. We want to make sure that if we're going to be attending school that day, we want to let families know as soon as possible. So if the school committee could vote tonight, then we can get that information out to families immediately.
April, question?
So my question is, has this been gone over with the WEA? And
Yes.
are they, would we have to, because it's a contracted, I think, current day in the contract, do we have to do an MUA for them to
We do
come in that
not.
day?
The WEA is in support of it. They recognize that
They don't want to be in
day
school till
before
July.
That
Fair
a
enough.
day before, right, any day before June 29th.
I just
would
want
be
to
a
make
good
sure
day.
that they were
Right,
consulted
yes.
and represented and that we're
Yes.
not doing anything that would violate any sort of
I
contract.
met with
So
the president today. We
Okay.
discussed it.
that was my only question. Thank you.
Joyce?
I'm in support of it. I would just note, you said the dates, but the 29th is a Monday.
Yes.
So we'd be coming back for one day. So to vote to do that and then end on a Friday would definitely be a good thing. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, okay.
Roger, any question?
So you're advocating changing it to a half-day that day, right?
Well, I'm,
The Good
I
Friday.
think I'm putting it out for your consideration, that folks that do observe it may accommodate them, that they can have services in the afternoon.
Jeff, any questions or opinions?
Yes, I think it's the least disruptive solution, and I don't think that Friday should be a holiday in the first place, so I'm amenable.
Okay.
As someone born on Good Friday, I resent that, Jeff. That was
Yeah,
Rachel, for the record.
I have I have no problem celebrating your birthday. That's different.
Okay, just checking.
Joyce,
I was just going to make a motion.
go
Second.
right ahead.
So I'll make a motion that we change Good Friday from a no school day to an early release day.
But the longer version of the early release.
Yes.
date.
Longer version, right.
Yes.
Okay.
Early release.
Second.
And a
Just
second?
for the record, it's not listed on the calendar as Good Friday.
Okay. All right, so we have a motion, we have a second. We'll do our next to last roll call of the night. Joyce?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes.
And myself, yes, 500.
Thank you.
All right, any other business from any member? Joyce?
Just wanted to ask that we have a moment of silence for Pete Basari, who was a substitute teacher at the high school, who's a lovely, lovely man who recently passed away.
Sure, let's have a moment of silence for Mr. Basari. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joyce. All right, the last motion I'm looking for tonight is a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, Roger
have to
second,
roll
and the
call.
last, we do have to roll call. Joyce?
Yes.
April?
Yes.
Roger?
Yes.
Jeff?
Yes, and thank you.
And myself, yes, 500. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.